dictator of Venezuela or bombing the Iran nuclear sites. But there's been no warm-up preparation. The Israelis haven't done anything. It would be a pretty bolt out of the blue, big strike. But then again, what happens next? Well, Lynn, if anything happens, KT, we're on.
I pray for our soldiers and sailors, and I pray for peace.
Well said. We all should be praying for peace, but for a good outcome of this.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the president said the one item that's non-negotiable is allowing a terrorist state, or in other words, the terrorists in charge of Iran right now, because the Persian people are wonderful people, to have nuclear weapons, because they can't trust them with nuclear weapons.
Yeah, he said the most dangerous country in the world cannot be allowed to have the most dangerous weapons.
Exactly, and it's so funny, KT, that's what I was thinking during the State of the Union. He said they are the world's leader in terrorism, not just even within Iran, but around the world. And you cannot allow a monster to have a nuclear weapon. That is the bottom line. So we'll see where this goes. KT, thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And John, we're going to take a quick break. And then we have the counselor to Secretary Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary. We have Joe LaGuardia coming up to look at the economy.
You talk, we listen. 77 WABC.
Hi, my name is Vinny Medunio, and tomorrow at 5 p.m., I kick off Music Radio 77 WABC by playing the best music, getting you ready for Cousin Percy at 6. Plus, I open up the Bible vault, dusting off treasures and spinning the gems. So join me, Vinny Medunio, on the dance floor with the best music on the best station.
The Tunnels to Towers Foundation honors America's heroes. Heroes like U.S. Army Warrant Officer 1, Stuart Wayman. After joining the Army, Stuart graduated from Army Aviation School and had a distinguished career until a mid-air collision during a training exercise took Stuart's life. He leaves behind his wife, Kira, and their 3 sons. Tunnels to Towers pays the mortgage on Stuart's family's home. Help more families like Stuart. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact by donating your car or land. Go to T2T.org.
This is 77 WABC Newsroom Extra. Alexander Super is the former head of a South Los Angeles-based homeless services program, and he finds himself facing a federal wire fraud charge. The 42-year-old Super previously ran Abundant Blessing.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Here we go again.
Out of more than $23 million. Jeremy Stebbins,
Here we go again.
special agent in charge of the FBI Los Angeles office.
To know that the very funds allocated to media just like are being stolen to line the pockets of individuals with millions of dollars should concern every taxpayer and resident of California. Every dollar stolen, no dollar that can no longer be spent to alleviate the homelessness crisis.
Federal prosecutors say he spent $8 million.
Who's Jibu? Jibu?
on clothing, luxury vacations, properties, and
Who the hell is Jibu?
James Flippin for 77 WABC News. A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. John Catsimatidis and Maria Duffy. That's Stephen Cosby on 77 WABC.
And we are
Oh boy, how do we get out of this?
and joining us now is Joe LaGuardia.
How do we get out of this clusterfuck down?
Of the Treasury. Happy to have you back here. Cosby. This is Rita along with John Catsimatidis, also Judge Richard Weinberg, and also New York
Frozen internet.
Ed Cox. And
I'm trying to get out of this frozen spot before my fucking vehicle freezes to the ground.
Thank you very much.
Hold on, here we go.
Sarcastic back there. Thank you very much for having me back.
They put this stupid concrete shit. They put this stupid concrete shit right in the middle of the fucking road.
Over 3% at annualized.
Oh yeah.
And that's important because that type of GDP is going to lead to much stronger job numbers, which we started to see in January because my life leads to jobs. So most people are understandably concerned about the labor market. Under Joe Biden, jobs were revised down. In the last 2 years of his presidency, almost 2 million workers from what had initially been reported. So the president certainly had to fix things. We're making great progress, and the outlook for 6 excellent.
Well, that's, I mean,
Yeah, we're rolling.
Supreme Court, I guess, how much is that going to affect us? I mean, President Trump has done a phenomenal job of bringing in 17, 18 trillion dollars in new business that is, I guess, moving along.
The bitch only gave me
The Supreme Court decision didn't put any obstacles in our way.
The president and the administration clearly is prepared for. Had the court unfortunately ruled the way it did, the president put in place 15% across the board tariffs, so it's known as Section 122, which lasts 150 days.
yeah, Section 8, huh? You got Section 8?
But there's also what's known as Section 301 and Section 232, which are other parts of trade law that the president uses very effectively. Right now, because not all the tariffs are IEEPA, as they're known, International Economic Emergency Protection Act, but some of those other statutes were used not now, but also during that when we negotiate with the Chinese. So there are obstacles, but there are no hurdles to clear. And as we've been telling people, the tariffs have been incredibly successful. They're reindustrializing the manufacturing sector. They're going to lead, as you say, John, to all those investments coming in. And of course, they're also raising significant revenues, which is important because that's helping lower homeowner costs, which surged under the prior administration. We had interest rates, mortgage rates this week down below 6%.
Yeah, Jibu. Fucking internet, slow internet. Well, guess what? My fucking roads are slow. My roads are going slow, and we got a whole bunch of retard drivers on a Friday. Don't you love it? I'm out on the road on a Friday, which I rarely do. You know this, and now I have to deal with a whole bunch of retards. Retards that love the traffic, and they contribute to traffic, and that's why you see a whole bunch of traffic in front of me from now until 4 hours. It's actually going to be all night. All night going to be like this within the city limits. There's going to be traffic everywhere. Everybody's going out. At nighttime, there's going to be a whole bunch of drunk people going out.
How wages are going up.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I'll give you an example. Under Joe Biden,
They're going to be drunking out.
fell at a 4% annualized rate, meaning they didn't grow at all. In real terms, you take your wage rate adjusted for your cost of living, they were never positive. Under Trump's first year in office,
Oh, now we got it faster.
which is a very strong rate. So you see a huge dichotomy between this administration and the last. As you kind of alluded to, the no tax on tips, overtime, Social Security benefits, auto interest.
So, yeah, we got this.
All these things will of course help and lift after tax.
We got this snowball effect that these
And then as inflation goes down,
ravaged black kids
that will lift your
made snowballs of ice and threw it at the NYPD officers and hit them in the face and hit them in the eyes. So the officers had to go to the emergency room to get their eye patches put on. They had to get eye patches put on because they injured their eyes.
Which is why if you look at the Atlanta Fed, they're very closely tracking your GDP estimates. They're tracking a 3% number for the current quarter, which is pretty solid. I wouldn't be surprised that.
Yeah, my thing was, I had to speed it up.
Going into April 15th.
I had to speed it up.
No war, no effects from the war, and let's pray for peace. And thank you so much for coming on this Friday evening, and TGIF, thank God it's Friday.
Yes, thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you so much.
You too. And we have the top news of the day.
Well, President Trump is taking his first State of the Union trip today. He headed to Texas to tout the U.S. economy, which we're talking about, which will warn you there. The president will be in Corpus Christi. He's there landed a little bit ago, and he's given what's being billed as an economy-focused speech. By the way, this visit comes before the state's Republican Senate primary
primary and some other primaries taking place next Tuesday. Also, let's go to outer space. NASA says that there will be a course correction to the Artemis program.
Oh, boy.
Launches as they now aim to land on the moon in 2028. I know, Judge, you wanted to get there sooner, but you'll have to wait.
Well, maybe I would have done it maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think you would have done it 10 years ago. I think I would still do it. If somebody says to you, I'll go to the moon, what do you think?
Only if I can fly.
Oh, wow, I would trust you. I trust you flying.
That's absolutely
Yeah. So what are you doing there, Jibu? What's new? Did you get your charger yet or what?
Coming up, we're going to talk to General J.K. about Iran, Claudia Tenney, Ambassador Mike Leiter, and Great coming up.
Jibu, did you get your charger yet or what?
Stories of the week, talking with people in the know. Find yourself asking. It sounds like you missed the Cats Roundtable every Sunday morning on 77 WABC.
WABC chime time is 5:37.
This is Hero, and as a former SWAT team operator, I know the pitfalls of hiring the wrong moving company. At Goodrich Airlines, all our movers are carefully screened and trained at our Superhero Movers Academy. Goodrich is a National Mover of the Year and specializes in cross-country relocation with weekly trips to Florida. You can even trust the group with your auto and pet shipping. Don't get taken hostage by road movers. Go to goodrich.com. Traffic and transit.
77 WABC traffic sponsored by D'Agostino and Associates, the injury firm. Call 1-800-FIGHT-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. NJ Transit riders already dealing with reroutes and headaches will now add fast trains to the list of problems. Service in and out of Hoboken has been suspended due to a track fire. It is expected to remain out of service throughout the evening. Light rail is cross-honoring tickets. I'm Liz Randolph for Traffic and Transit.
D'Agostino and Associates is a legacy firm, and I'm proud to be a part of that legacy. I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and like my father, I fight for Call our team first at 1-800-FIGHT-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3228.
You're listening to the #1 Nielsen rated Cats and Cosby. Thank you for listening. 77 WABC. Your commuting home with Cats and Cosby. Now here's John Catsimatidis and Reed Cosby on 77 WABC.
Well, we are back. And General, I mean, everybody's up in the...
What are you doing there, Jibu?
Everybody knows what's going on.
Jibu, did you get your charger yet or what?
Your friends?
Well, I think the negotiations as we see unfolding are running this course. And, you know, I really think the negotiations are leading nowhere. And the reason is Iran is based on an ideology. These are diabolical leaders that are obsessed with their own ideology, and you're not going to change them. One, they want to recover their nuclear capability that was destroyed. And despite any negotiations to the contrary, they were still trying to recover on a secret site someplace. Two, they're already recovering their ballistic missiles, and that's one of the concerns we have. We want to stop that as soon as possible. Number two, they're already supporting the parties in the region, and they want them to get back the capability so they can do what? So they can attack Israel and also disrupt things in the region. And Iran has already demonstrated, John, that they're willing to kill as many people as necessary for them to stay in power. So no matter what the outcome of the negotiations, in my judgment, Iran is never going to abide by any of them. And we have a 46-year history of them lying and cheating. Therefore, the preferred option is a military option, a combined strike with Israel and the United States that's very comprehensive to put this regime once and for all, to set the conditions for their collapse. And I think that is absolutely achievable.
General, what kind of targets do you think you would be looking at? You know, that we would hit, that Israel would hit. What would you think are the Revolutionary Guard headquarters? What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, I think they're pretty obvious. I'm not talking about any insight that I may particularly have here, just looking at it from experience and what has been done already in the 12-day war. I think when you start with leadership, it would likely be civilian and military. The Israelis the last time was largely all military and nuclear scientists. I think both civilian, national, and military means being included. Like the entire infrastructure that sustains the regime would likely be deliberately and methodically dismembered.
Oh boy,
IRGC principles,
you have to get a charger.
the police infrastructure itself, even the defense industrial base that sustains all of this, I think would all be likely targets.
I can't believe you still didn't get a charger.
Retaliation means is
Yeah, I would start walking.
ballistic missiles, rockets,
If you start walking today, you'll make it there by tomorrow.
drones that they have at their
By a cheapo charger.
Also, whatever attempts they may be making to recover their
Well, the cheapo charger might not work, so you might have to get a good charger.
other targets are certainly beyond what I'm thinking about here. I mean, we have excellent planners. You saw what the Israelis did for 12 days. Add to that the United States planners as well, complementing each other. The targets would be comprehensive for sure. And I think we're literally setting the conditions for a regime collapse. We don't have much choice, John.
General, I'm curious, you talk about sort of the next steps. There seems to be a little bit of,
Likelihood tonight is probably gone already.
is it gone already, General?
Is what gone already?
Is the window, if it were to.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't have any insight as to what it's going to be.
In general. You know, the other thing I'm thinking too, General, is I'm wondering, you know, the what's next. There seems to be there's a couple of different groups that are warring for sort of what's next. How important is it to line up for what's next, or what are you hearing? Like you hear Reza Pahlavi, the son of the Shah, but then you also hear there's other groups. Right, there's all these groups, and that's why there seems to be a number of different folks or different groups that are sort of looking for position. Do you need to have sort of clear,
Well, first of all, we're catching too much out of what is next. Even when we took down regimes using ground, so we would be decisive about removing that regime. I'm talking about Panama in 89 with Noriega, 94 in Haiti, restoring mercy to power, 2001 in Afghanistan, 2003 in Iraq. Even when you do that and you're making a conscious regime change, the future is you always struggle at what that future will be. And we've seen that in those kind of conflicts. We make too much out of the fact that, well, we don't know who is going to be in charge. We want to know a couple of things. And pretty factual. Most authoritarian regimes that get proposed, either by their own people or by force, lead to another authoritarian regime. And that's likely to be the case. And hopefully, there would be nationalistic leaders as opposed to the ideological, diabolical leaders we have right now. I think that would likely be the case. And whoever it is, we would likely have the opportunity to bend them to our will, much as we're doing in Venezuela and Afghanistan.
Exactly, that's what I was just thinking of. Yep.
And we'll have huge leverage over them, to be sure, given the devastation that we have just wreaked on them. And we have people out there, oh, the situation is ambiguous. We don't know what the decisive outcome is going to be. Well, let me tell you, folks, that's the nature of war itself. And that's the reality of what we're dealing with. It doesn't mean that we don't do the operation. let's just reverse this and say, let's say we don't do anything. So what have we just done once we make that decision? We have thrown a lifeline to this regime, and we're likely going to have it for another 10 years. Does that make any sense to anybody, given how weak they are, how vulnerable they are right now?
Yeah. Jack, great, General. Thank you so much. Great points, Jack. Thank you very, very much, Jack.
General.
Keep us posted. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. And joining us now here on Captain Cosby is the great Congresswoman from New York, Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Congresswoman, I can't believe it must have been, quite awful, I guess, being there at the chamber of the state, watching the Democrats not stand up when they were asking to put American citizens over illegal aliens. What's the reaction? What's going on with the Democratic Party? This is what they did in the very first Trump address, every other Trump State of the Union address. This is what they do. They don't stand up for the American people. And I thought the President Trump set a trap for them, and they fell right in it over and over. And the commercials are going to write themselves with, the vitriol spewing out of some of the members of Congress, especially on the Democratic side, just going, reacting to Trump. And really, President Trump beautifully describing and talking about great American stories, American people who rose above, who went beyond, and he awarded them and gave them the recognition they deserve. From great achievements in the military to people who lost their children, to crime or to, the scourge of illegal immigrants having licenses and truck driver license. I mean, it was just a beautiful statement on America with a lot of great detail on these people and why every one of us should feel proud to be an American and why every one of us knows that we can't do this anywhere else. And this is why we recognize and honor those people who are great in our community. The average person is who we celebrate. You don't have to be a movie star like the Democrats always clamor around. You can just be a great American doing great work in your job or whatever it is your mission or task. And President Trump did a beautiful job highlighting that. And I thought it was the best speech actually I've ever heard him give because there was so much content about so many great people. And it was a thrill to be in the room. I know it was a long speech, but every part of it was great. He was funny, he was witty, he was warm, he was compassionate. His comments to Nancy Pelosi about the stock trading, did you stand up? I mean, he was just so quick-witted and so funny. I just thought it was a terrific speech.
Well, I listened to the entire speech, and I think he did a great job. I mean, he stood up for America and common sense. Stood up for America, stood up for common sense. And the people that did not stand up, he made them accountable about why are you not standing up. What is wrong with giving a soldier the Medal of Honor recipient? Why didn't you stand up for him? What is wrong with getting rid of drugs in America? I mean, there's so many common sense things that the Democrats didn't stand up for. I mean, how did you feel about it?
I thought it was more of the same with the Democrats, but he just proved in clarity in front of the world that the Democrats hate Donald Trump more than they love America. And you've heard that phrase before. But they really don't love America. They want to tear down our institutions. They don't believe in our constitutional principles, which revere individual rights and human freedom and human greatness and self-governance. They don't care about that. They're talking about Marxism and chaos and no support for law enforcement and the rule of law. We cannot have a free society where we're always balancing that freedom versus security. And we want to maximize freedom as much as we can, but we also have to have, security in our communities because we're free. And that's always, but when you throw chaos into a situation like the Democrats, when you defund, demoralize, and attack our police, you end up with a chaotic society, an anarcho type of society, and you can't actually prosper. You can't actually have security and safety for your family, and you can't live the American dream. And that's why it's so important. What President Trump did, not just common sense, John, but rule of law, respect for others, respect for the police. It is just so simple and basic to a good society, and about citizenship. Citizenship has value. And that's what President Trump ran on in his very first term. and he renewed that again. Citizenship has value, and that's why people come from all over the world wanting to be legal citizens of the United States. And unfortunately, so many people have taken advantage of our goodness and our kindness with drug trafficking, human trafficking, and taking advantage of that citizenship that we so much revere as Americans, and new citizens as well. Actually, in some ways, actually appreciate the citizenship of being an American than most do, and most Americans who take it for granted. You know, Claudia Tenney, we just have a few seconds left here, Congresswoman. Very quickly, your reaction to the snowball attack. They finally, you know, Mayor Mondani made it sound like it's a bunch of kids in a snowball fight. It was an attack on police. They finally arrest a guy. He is a repeat offender. He's 27 years old. He's not a kid. And now he's out on a misdemeanor. They reduced charges. We just have a few seconds, but your thoughts? Yeah. Again, demoralize the guns, disrespect the police, all in one. In addition to horrible criminal justice rights for criminals, not for victims. Always prioritizing the criminals over the victims, and letting these people go and keeping their communities unsafe. And it's not just New York City, it is all over the state because these are statewide laws. We see it up in upstate New York as well. It's really just, we've got to change these laws. And we see the same thing happening in California where Gavin Newsom's parole board wants to put a multiple sex offender back out on the street just because he's 64 years old and he's been in prison a while. He's going to commit those crimes all over again against children. Well, Claudia Tenney, thank you very much. You're right. That case is horrible in California. The great Congresswoman from New York. We so appreciate you being with us. Thank you so much, and have a good weekend. Thanks so much. Great to talk to you.
Coming in right now is Michael Leiter, Israeli ambassador to the United States, and what we want to find out is what's going on, because there's been many issues going on, and well, Ambassador Huckabee has asked some non-essential staff to leave. The Canadians have asked their people to leave Iran. Can you give us an update of what's going on in Israel right now?
Well, you know, Israel has a position that we've been voicing now for a long time, and calling attention to the fact that Iran is intent on creating weapons of mass destruction, nuclear weapons, ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, which can rain down on Europe and the United States. And even after the 12-day war in June, they immediately went back to reconstituting their ability to both build and deploy these weapons. President Trump, has met with the Prime Minister on a number of occasions. Just 2 weeks ago, they had a intense meeting in Washington, which lasted for many hours to discuss the issue. And the President made it very clear in his State of the Union address just 2 days ago that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons, and they cannot have the ability to build ICBM. You know, if you're talking about an ICBM, you're talking about a ballistic missile. People don't understand what these missiles are. You know, and just to describe them properly, imagine that you're driving down the interstate highway and a semi-trailer comes by at 70 miles an hour. You feel a little just to the side of the wind. Well, imagine that semi-trailer is not doing 70 miles an hour, but it's packed with explosives and it's flying through the skies at 4 times the speed of sound. And that thing hits like a small nuclear bomb. They're developing intercontinental ballistic missiles, which is only for one purpose. It's only to reach the United States. Because you don't need an intercontinental missile not to cross an ocean, right? If it's intercontinental, it means it crosses an ocean. So it's not aimed at China. And that's where they're going. That's what their intent is. They call Israel the little Satan. They call America the great Satan. So hopefully, the talks that the president has directed with his trusted envoys, Witkoff and Jared Kushner, hopefully these are
Patrol 1 could cancel the job at
which threatens all the way.
at Roosevelt. 6-5 said
President
that
made clear that
Eastern Station left the station.
agreement. They're not willing to walk this intent back. It's going to be achieved kinetically.
So the way I would describe it, and maybe you can attest to that, the fact is everybody is showing how tough they are, but the negotiations still going on.
Negotiations obviously are still going on. There were actually some positive reports in the negotiations yesterday. it appears that the Iranians, for the first time, are softening up a bit. We have to see
Oh, yeah.
continue that trajectory. The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, is planning to come to the Middle East.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to jump the train on the Berry line going towards Manhattan. So no weapons, no injuries, no script. Be advised, for P1, trains have been notified to be halted.
Without nuclear weapons, and without ballistic missiles, and without killing and murdering thousands, tens of thousands of their own.
Are you still with us, Jibu?
I'd like to see that in place rather than through military operations.
Sergeant Red?
That could be achieved. Along with the president, who said that repeatedly that he's praying that this
Jump off the last few days, Ranger.
We pray for peace, and we were President Trump allow a terrorist country to have nuclear bombs. Let's pray. I mean, I pray on Sundays, you pray on Saturdays, and let's pray that the peace will happen.
I prayed together with you. We all pray. Very often I pray on Sundays as well with my brothers and sisters in churches across America. We want very much to achieve peace, but it's very clear to anyone who has studied history that peace can only be achieved through strength. Peace is never achieved through weakness.
I agree with you 110%. And President Trump, they know that he doesn't fool around, and they know he's one tough guy. And Prime Minister Netanyahu is one tough guy.
We had to,
peace will happen.
We had to pull over for a minute.
Thank you so much for calling in.
We had to take care of some business there.
Very powerful.
We had to take care of some business.
Interesting time.
We had to manage some business. Are you still with us, Jibu?
Sounds off. Zoran Amdani has called the NYPD racist and anti-Semitic. More after this.
Here, donate now to ToysForTots.org, working year-round, delivering hope to children at Christmas time and beyond. Toys for Tots provided over 30 million toys to nearly 13 million children in need. Donate now, please. Go to ToysForTots.org. Since 1947, Toys for Tots has distributed 708 million toys to 314 million deserving children. Working year-round on Toys for Tots. Donate now. Go to ToysForTots.org. That's ToysForTots.org.
This money comes from folks at Trade Supply. So do returns on money market accounts. Are you concerned about your earning power? For higher returns, contact my friends at Capital Square is right into your bank account. For more information, contact Capital Square at CapitalSQ.com or just call 833-378-1031. Contact Capital Square now.
And now, Joe Concha sounds off. Zoran Amdani has called the entire NYPD racist and anti-queer. Clearly the guy does not like the men and women in blue. And now, in Washington Square Park, just recently, they were pelted by snowballs over and over again. Listen. So ask yourself, under Rudy Giuliani or Michael Bloomberg, confident mayor, a mayor who actually appreciates ordinary city police officers, would that ever happen? Oh, New York, we are so sorry. For more entertaining from Joe Concha. On WABC Radio. In late January, the Polish Interceptor allowing upward of 600 million gallons of gas spill into the nation's rivers. The contaminated area includes the river's path in D.C., Maryland, even into Virginia. Locals say the stench is unbearable. Switch trending at WABCRadio.com. James Corbin, 477 WABC News.
Scored on America's darkest day of 9/11. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been heroes ever since. Heroes who put their lives on the line for our country and our communities. Your help now more than ever. Join Tunnel to Towers on a mission to celebrate their honor. Never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices of the By donating your car or land, go to TNT.org.
Friends in the morning, 60 seconds.
Washington, after all your belly-aching, after all your crying and bitching and moaning,
Like the James Changer said, this is how men show the Federation cartel the blood of half of Americans on this planet.
My friend John Hughes, one of the best rotations they've ever had. The Warrior has a bullpen right now. That's fantastic. It was a great pickup at the deadline by Brian Cashman.
Last night, the president showed how he
This is Friends in the Morning. Listen anytime. 77WABCRadio.com and the 77 WABC app. The stream is a common sense recap of the big stories. It's Cats and Cosby on 77.
Some big developments in the case of Nancy Guthrie. I can't believe it. Reports about video of an abduction going by. And also Savannah Guthrie putting up a big reward. You better than great Nancy Guthrie to the heart of this entire case. Nancy, what is the latest about you on? This is pretty high to me. It is so great to hear your voice. We've been through a lot together, and I gotta tell you, this case is unlike anything I've ever seen. With all of the technology we have today,
Jibu.
all of the FBI agents, all the local sheriffs, the law enforcement, they're on the ground. We still don't have Nancy Guthrie. Well, last night, video emerged from Nancy's neighborhood, about a little over 2 miles away, on a street that enters into Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood. 12 vehicles flying by. Now, what's interesting is it was between the hours of 12 and 6 a.m.
There was no assault, it was just harassment.
This really struck me, Maria, and that is that one of the vehicles, one of the flying by, I mean, the flapping fins all the way. But exactly 8 minutes after Nancy Guthrie's pager disconnected from Bluetooth. So, it's quite coincidence, right? Wow. Now, Randy Sleuth believed he identified to be a Kia Soul. And, you know, the metropolitan areas like New York, Chicago, LA, Atlanta, the police have, the homicide division, the robbery division, the sex crimes, the crimes on children, the white collar, and the car theft division. They can spot a make and model 100 feet away. Because every year, auto manufacturers subtly, or not so subtly, change the design for those people that want a brand new car, a brand new look every year. I don't know who they are. They change it every year. And it's a subtle but important distinction. And these people, men and women, that are dedicated to theft by taking, theft by receiving, breaking huge car theft rings and millions of dollars, they know this like the back of their hand, right? So I believe this person can be identified. We've heard conflicting reports, some that they are not connected to Nancy Guthrie. I don't know how they can know that right now, this early in the game, that they are connected. I find that significant, Rita, not only because of that content, but because it tells me there are many other surveillance cams to be mined, right? The radius they first gave, Rita, was 2 miles. Everybody was in a 2-mile radius. This is 2.5 miles. But that's where her house is. Yeah, that's odd. Yeah, that's odd, John. You know how I hate the bad now, or criticize law enforcement, because I've been there. And mistakes are made, unwitting mistakes are made. You're giving it your all. You're trying to get it.
Nancy, we've checked into the reputation of
But in this case, I will call him out. There's been a victim in the feds, and frankly, the local law enforcement does not have the reach and the technology that the feds have at their Well, there you go. Now Nick Office knows we're on to him. I mean, he's just giving out so much critical information. It's abysmal. It is. Well, the bottom line is I cannot believe we are here. It was February 1st, and of course I'm thinking of Savannah. You and I know her, Nancy. It's heartbreaking. Wow. Nancy, you got to come back next week. Will you come back next week? We love you. Yes, I will. I absolutely will. But anything for you guys. Yeah, what about John and Judge? I'll take it. We love Nancy. Have a great weekend, honey.
Thank you. And what are we all scared? Justice and the American way. God bless America. And GIF, thank God it's right.
WABC report. 1071 WLIR Hampton Bay.
It's 35 and clear skies. Good evening, I'm Ms. Radabali. President Trump says the talks with Iran are not going well so far. President Trump is weighing possible military strikes on the nation. Your forecast tonight overnight, mostly clear skies. Ms. Radabali, News Never Stops, WABCRadio.com.
877-381.
It was a white vehicle. Does he know what time?
I'm going to play for you a series of clips. And when I play them, I want you to think, what do they really mean? What is being said? What is being communicated? About Iran, from Iran, and you, Mr. and Mrs. America.
Affirmative. Traffic agent foot was ran over by a vehicle. Location 10 L Street and West
What do you
Street.
think it all means? Because I think I know. And I tell you this without any inside information. Let's start with the Iranian foreign minister today. Cut one go.
I can say that we made good progress after several hours of intensive negotiation. We have started serious discussions about elements of the deal, both in the field of nuclear issues and the removal of sanctions.
Well, that's very interesting because their leader, Khomeini, publicly stated they will never give up their nuclear program, they will never give up the uranium, they will never give up the missiles, nothing. Now, he's in charge last time I checked. And this is typical of this regime. Typical. He makes those statements for the press. And to try and place pressure on our administration. Here's the president outside the White House today. Cut two, go. He's not happy with the way talks are going. He gave him 10 days. This is day number 8. In some ways, it seems like a rerun of June, doesn't it, Mr. Producer? Except this time, there will be no pinprick strikes, not with the kind of armadas, plural, we have in that region. That's my intuition. I have no inside information. I would never ask for it, and certainly I would never. Cut 3, outside the White House again. President Trump, go.
There's always a risk. You know, when there's war, there's a risk in anything. We've had tremendous luck with myself, Soleimani, al-Baghdadi, everything's worked out, and then we usually work out. And so many everything's worked out, and we want to keep it that way. But we're going to say, it'd be wonderful if this really but they are not getting it. So far, they're not getting it. Hope that now, but there will be you don't know. I mean, nobody knows. See, and they might not see. Well, I mean,
when you look at the greatest military anywhere in the world, there's nothing close. I've looked at the
That's the most important segment of them all, don't you think, Mr. Producer? Okay, digest that. In Corpus Christi, Texas today. At 18, go.
Well, they should make a deal, but they don't want to quite go far enough. That's too bad. Look, we've been playing with them for 47 years. And it's a long time. We've been blowing the legs off our people, blowing the face off our people, the arms. They've been knocking out ships one by one. Every month there's something else. You can't put up with it too long. We're not happy with the negotiations. They just don't want to. They don't want to see you say the key words. We're not going to have a nuclear weapon. They have to say we're not going to have a nuclear weapon, and they just can't quite get there. They want to enrich you. You don't have to enrich when you have that much oil. So I'm not happy with the negotiation. I say no enrichment. Not 20%, 30%. They always want 20%, 30%. They want it for civilian, for civil. I think it's uncivil. So I'm not happy with it.
You're sitting as I am listening to this, America. One more clip. Then we'll track it down. Same place, Corpus Christi, just a few hours ago. Cut 19, go.
I would have the greatest troop in history. 6280.5. Well, they're going. I mean, we're negotiating right now, but they're not getting to the right answer. And we're not going to see people. We're not going to see what's happened for 47 years. 47 years we've been doing this with them. The Obama deal was the worst deal. Nobody ever saw a deal so stupid. Right now, if you did the Obama deal that held, if I didn't terminate it, it would be a whole different ballgame.
Jibu, are you on here, Jibu? What's going on? Where'd you leave?
First of all, it's very short term. It would long be over,
Oh, boy.
But if I didn't, it would be over by now anyway. But the Obama deal, what he did was one of the dumber deals. I see a lot of them deals. That would be one of the dumber deals.
We're going to take a little break, a little bit early. When we come back, we're going to analyze what just took place. Be right back.
77 WABC.
Yeah, my dad passed away at the age of 53. Got nowhere. Stroke. Super hard, obviously. Single family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance. My wife, unfortunately, the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com. You can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test. Just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes for your family. Ethos.com/life. You know, folks, Americans rely on credit cards for secure payments and seamless transactions. But consumers stand to lose it all with the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandate bill. Big government mandates favor corporate mega stores and allow them to choose how your credit card is processed. They might end up using untested payment networks that could jeopardize your data security and rewards. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Visit guardyourcard.com to learn more. That's guardyourcard.com, paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Hey, it's me again, Gary, from the Real Estate Authority. Let me say thanks for the business. Much appreciated. So if you're thinking of selling your home, right off the phone and call me at 800-707-1452, because there's not a house I can't sell. If you want a home right now, you've got goals. So let me ask you a question. What are you doing? Are you going to let the bank take your property because you fell into hard times and into foreclosure? What are you doing? Are you going to let the non-paying tenants try to stop you from selling your home on, folks? What are you doing?
Yeah, they're going to squander you. They're going to squander everything. Yeah. Look at all this Friday. This is what you call Friday night traffic. Friday night traffic in my city. It's Friday night traffic in my city.
For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
But right now, getting approval to build anything is just too slow. It's 56% longer than peer tape. Red tape like this means higher rents and less housing New Yorkers can afford. The Let Them Build agenda will fix that. No cutting corners, just the red tape that makes housing less affordable. You deserve a New York that doesn't slow you down. Learn more today at ny.gov/Let Them Build. A message from the state.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle less than 200,000 miles with an auto.
All right, let's go. Let's move it along. There's no snow on the ground. It's only on the sides. There's no need for driving 2 miles an hour.
Available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correct. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a Henry 15-478-6430 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-478-6430. That's 800-478-6430. What do you have to lose? Call 800-478-6430. Again, 800-478-6430. You're listening to the #1 Nielsen rated The Mark Levin Show. Thank you for listening. 77 WABC. Individuals and businesses with tax problems. Listen carefully. If you feel like you're losing control of your finances, if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have...
Oh boy, I really hate going out and driving at this time. I really hate it. I absolutely hate it. There's idiots everywhere on the road. There's idiots everywhere. They don't care about any other drivers but themselves.
For the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guarantee quote to get you protected today.
I hate all the idiot drivers there come out at rush hour on a Friday. They all suck donkey balls. They all suck and chew on donkey balls. First they chew them and then they suck them. Yeah. What the fuck is going on with my receiver here?
The Communist Chinese are all the trying to get out of Iran immediately. The British have done the same thing. All Central American personnel in Israel have been told to leave. It's all published.
Oh yeah, drive nice and slow. Why don't you drive nice and slow? Oh yeah.
Tell me what you think is going to take place and why. So I'm going to play just the last two, not all five again. Here's the president, Corpus Christi, today in Texas, just a few hours ago, at 18 go. They don't want to quite go far enough. Too bad. We've been playing with it for 47 years. That's a long time. They've been blowing the legs off our people, blowing the face off our arms. They've been knocking at you one by one. Every month there's something else. You can't put up with it. We're not happy with the negotiation. They just don't want to
say the keyword, we're not going to have a nuclear weapon. They have to say, we're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And they just can't wait. They want to enrich a little bit.
Someone I say, good fight. That's for that fight connection with Column Parkway. Mail probably was Column Parkway.
No enrichment.
That's right, correct. That's right, next to Column Parkway from Duncan Wesley.
You know, for civil, I think it's uncivil. So, I'm not happy with it.
And you can see and hear the change in his tone. Complete change. Complete change. One more clip, and I'm going to go to you folks. Cut 19, go.
I'd rather not tell you. You would have the greatest group in history, right? Well, they're going. I mean, we're negotiating right now, but they're getting to the right answer. We're not going to see people. We're not going to see what's happened for 47 years. Keep going. For 47 years, we've been doing this with them. The Obama deal was the worst deal. Nobody ever saw it this as right now, if you did the Obama deal that held, if I didn't terminate it, Red would have a nuclear weapon. And it would be a whole different ballgame. That Obama deal was one of the worst, one of the dumbest deals ever. First of all, it's very short term. It would be over. You know that. I terminated it, but if I didn't, it would be over by now anyway. But the Obama deal was one of the dumbest deals. That would be one of the dumbest.
Also, he was asked, what about oil prices? They might spike. Says, I'm not thinking about oil prices. What do you think, Mr. Producer? What's that? What do you think?
Call back. Second, currently, the train is currently at East Tornado.
I'd be curious to know what the audience thinks. 877-381-3811.
Hold that train for me?
I have no information. Anybody can say I do. I don't.
So, response to you heading to East Tornado? 10-4 Central, can you hold the train?
A couple of weeks, maybe?
This is sorry, but I don't have the update yet. That's the
What do you do with this? I heard. I'm listening to the tone. If I had to guess, and I will guess, he's already decided, may have already issued the order. I'm not saying it'll happen in 13 seconds. I'm saying he may already have issued the order for the right time. That's what I think must be going on. And I could be dead wrong. There's a lot of in this man. He knows right from wrong. He knows what he's dealing with. He just said it. I do know more about it than isolationists and speculative administrations who've been leaking to Axios, Politico, and the Washington Post, and other reprobate so-called news outlets. They'd rather have a scoop and protect our military and our president's decision-making process. There are traitors among us. Traitors. Inside the government and outside. Like Megyn Kelly, in my humble opinion. Like Tucker Carlson, in my humble opinion. Like Bloated Bannon, in my humble opinion. I think they are betrayers. They like to interview each other. They like to try and threaten and intimidate people with whom they disagree. With me, it just makes me stronger. Makes me more aggressive. It truly does. Now, that's my supposition. That things are going to happen. Again, based on nothing direct, just on what you heard. And I'm reading about countries pulling out their pants. Also, however, it's been reported that Secretary of State Israel on Monday. That could be a head fake, maybe not.
I had a 34 coming over and fall back on your website.
That could be a head fake, maybe not. If I'm right, they are head fakes. This president has given this regime time and again, in my view, an awful lot of time and again, to make a deal with it. And they're very stupid not to make a deal with it. Because he earnestly would rather not pull the trigger. And we know he told us over and over again. He tells us what he thinks. He's not playing games. So my belief is, but it's just a matter of time. And by that, I don't mean a lot of time. I mean a very tight window. The hearing that he just said 2 hours ago, Corpus Christi, and what he said outside the White House, the helicopter, I don't think you need to be Nostradamus. I really don't. That's my opinion. If none of you have an opinion, that's fine too, but that's my opinion, based on what I heard. And if he does that, of course, he'll be attacked by the Democrats, because the Democrats hate America. The Democrats talk about authoritarianism because they are authoritarian. You don't hear them condemning the Islamist Nazi regime and what it's done to the people of Persia. If you do, it's a rarity. It's like staccato for people who follow music. A little here, a little there. It's not consistent. In fact, the chorus in this song is "Don't go to war with Iran." Well, here's a dirty little secret. Iran's been at war with us for 47 years. And we've done very little in response. 47 years. And now they're weaker than ever thanks to the people of Iran, thanks to the Israeli government, Netanyahu and the IDF. The Raiders hate, of course, thanks to the United States military and our equipment and our bombers. Two great men, President Trump, Prime Minister Netanyahu. This is a regime that's back. It doesn't mean it can't fire missiles, of course.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There is a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-smoker, $1 billion of coverage for $75 per month level rate for 10 years, or a man age 50 non-smoker can obtain $500,000 coverage for a month premium of $110 level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At Turnbusters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for a new or replacement term life insurance, call Turnbusters today for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Availability may vary by state. Sample quotes based on preferred non-smoke underwriting and claim required. Call 1-800-908-7636 for details. Paid for by Robert Levinger Insurance Agent. WABC, Traffic in Transit.
77 WABC traffic sponsored by D'Agostino and Associates, the injury firm. Call 1-800-FIGHT-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. NJ Transit riders can catch brakes past service. In and out of Hoboken has been suspended due to a track fire earlier in the day. It is expected to remain out of service throughout the evening. Series in the Lifeline is cross-arming passengers. For Traffic in Transit, I'm Ms.
I'm John D'Agostino. Seriously injured? Call my team. 1-800-FIGHT-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. D'Agostino, fight back. Here's John Katzimatidis Jr. Are you paying too much for your home or business heating oil? My family operates United Metro Energy, and we can offer you a lower price and better service right now. No other heating oil company can match our tremendous buying. We own our own refinery, our own storage tanks, and the largest fleet of company-owned trucks. We're a community-conscious, family-run business. We're here for you 24/7. Contact me anytime. Email Sean at umecny.com. It's National Cigar Day. CigarPlace.com has the best pricing, 24-hour shipping, and the legendary Chew Cigar guarantee. Smoke two, don't love them, get a refund or exchange. Show WABC for $10 off your $50 order. WABC, brand new cigars at 0 risk. CigarPlace.com.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60% of their time doing anything but turning wrenches? MaintainX is the AI-powered maintenance and asset management system that helps your team get back to actually fixing breakdowns. No more searching for manuals, no more hunting down parts, no more drowning in paperwork. With MaintainX, your team can access manuals from anywhere, create new procedures in minutes, and turn voice notes into expert complete work order feedback. What used to take hours now only takes minutes. Keep your operations moving and your wrenches turning. Join over 13,000 maintenance teams that are already fixing more and filing less. Try MaintainX for free today. Go to maintainx.com/AI. That's maintain and the letter X.com/AI.
Hey, it's Joe Piscopo. Join me for Boulevard Sundays with Sinatra. This Sunday night, starting at 6. It's the chairman of the board, Frank Sinatra. His music, his stories, his life, and sharing his gifts with you. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of pay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. A needle in the haystack.
Meanwhile, 4 out of 5 employers who